Hi, this is Jeff Mason again. I am continuing to talk about Satin Doll and the harmony that is suggested by the lead sheet here that I've been working from for quite some time. Over, for every jazz standard I've been trying to learn. This song starts with what you call a 2-5. So it's a movement like that, and it ends on the 1 chord. Since we're in C major here, C. So what I've already done with this is you can see that's a C major 9. You can also add the open E because that would be the 3rd of the chord. So instead of just using, as it suggests, C major, I've already changed it to C major 9. C major 7 also works. C major 11, wherever that is, would work. C major 13 works. Let's see if I remember this one. Yes. This would be C major 13. The reason for this is quite theoretical, but basically the thing to keep in mind is for extensions, if you want to extend a chord and reharmonize it, the intervals you can use are the 6th, 7th, 9th, 11th, and 13th. And you can also, and 5th as well. You can also raise and sharp the 5th. And you can raise or sharp any of those intervals. You can have a, like this is C major 9 sharp 11. That has a pretty exotic sound, but it's very nice to end on chords like that. You can get some very dramatic endings. But as you can see, what I've already done is I've already added to G7 a 13. So that is the voicing that I like for that. And if you wanted to extend, as they call it, the harmony of the D minor 7, you could change it into a D minor 9. Or you could voice it like that. You could have a D minor 7 flat 5. That's a sharp 5 rather. This is a D minor 7 flat 5. It could be like that. It could be like G7 flat 5 into C, 13. That's much more exotic. Right? So, yeah, that would be extending the harmony. Also, here's a D minor 13. Kind of like that sound. Here's a D minor 11. You could even add all 3 of them if you want. It could be like, and it could be, and so that would be 1 chord per beat, like blah 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 blah, and then like blah 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 blah. Right? You may notice what I'm doing also is I'm moving things up and down the neck a little bit here, like. That is called inversions of 4-note chords that I've learned from various tablatures and various books that I've been reading about jazz harmony. And what I've noticed is you can extend these inversions around the neck and they sound nice. So like here's a shape, follow with this, 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 then this, then this. And then finally, there's C6, for instance. So if you play that a bit more up to speed, it would be like, yeah, I found that to be prevalent in a lot of the arrangements of Joe Pass, for instance. And he has a lot of these inversions sort of flying up and down the neck, and they sound really nice. They're also really nice for harmonizing individual notes. And we'll get to that, I guess, in part 3. Anyway, in part 2, when you're extending a chord, you can even make it a totally different chord. Like if it says on the lead sheet, again, this is our basic template of what we're doing. If it says D minor 7 and G7, you could just completely chuck that out. I mean, you could rewrite it as D7 sharp 9 sharp 5. So instead, you could have, you know, it's got a much meaner sound, and you could keep going. You can put more dominant chords in, like. You can even add that, you know, as the last note. That would be a 7 sharp 9 sharp 5. That's very dissonant to some people, but when the band is swinging and people are playing, if people are hip to that kind of sound, you could chuck it in and see who starts playing, you know. Who goes a little bit more dissonant with their dominant 7ths. So that's one way to play the song. You could just chuck out all the minor 7s and make them dominant. Which is a little bit heavy-handed, but it can be an interesting trick for jamming with. So let me see. The dominant 7s I was just playing there. This is your basic G7 shape that I would use. Some people call that a shell chord voicing. I don't want to confuse the terminology too much. I just call it a 3-note voicing, or a, you know, like, but basically a stripped down voicing, a three string voicing, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, what I usually do to these is I add the 13, or you can have the sharp 5. So this would be G7 sharp 5. This would be G7 flat 5. If you wanted to add the flat 9, I just figured this one out. This is G7 flat 9 flat 5. I can't get my hand to move quite to that one at this stage, but I'm working on it. That's a nice one. And if you wanted a sharp 5 and a sharp 9, then this is usually what you hear for that. So here's a run I use a lot around this. So this is a G7 altered or extended, or sharp 5, sharp 9. So those are all the altered tones of G, which comprises a diminished whole tone scale, which I touched upon in my earlier videos. You might recognize the sound, and that's what I would use over the dominants, and sometimes over the minor 7s. But that depends on how adventurous you want to get. Anyway, so that's what I have for the altereds. So that's basically, like I said, there's D minor 13, D minor 11, D minor 9, and D minor 7 in various forms. Play that. And there's G7, G13, G7 sharp 5, G7 flat 5, flat 5, flat 9, and sharp 9, sharp 5. And for the major, I'm using like C6 sometimes like this. Then also C9, C major 7, like that, C6/9, which I use a lot. That's a nice one. And that's, you can invert that up and down the neck like that. And there's also C13, which I guess is as extended as you want to get, unless you want to chuck in the sharp 11. So with all of these different choices, you can move throughout the different keys in the song, embellishing all of the chords. So the next set of chords is E minor 7 to A7. So I had it as, and what I would do with that is, you know, you could change it to anything you want. It could be like, and then we're going into A minor 7, so why don't we make it A minor 13, you know. And then D can be D7 flat 9. You can do that again. And back into C9.